Mission 6 is one of two missions that do not have a mandatory fight or a boss. This mission is all about movement, so just first hold lock on throughout this entire section while stingering through this, and you should be good. But first do two stingers, jump on top of the statue, jump again to get a hidden orb cache, stinger slide, and then stinger again. In the next room, tilt the stick down right and then stinger, because this is to avoid talking to those stone tablets. Okay, in this room run a bit, then stinger, then you will have a random set of spikes coming out of here. And in my PB I had probably the best spikes I have ever seen. That's incredibly lucky. Also got 2 gold releases right here, which will be shown in slow motion. So I'm practically inside the spikes, then I jump and release, because it's easier to do that than just do the grounded one. You can also just try to avoid them. It's faster to, I think it's faster to stinger all the time, but you're pretty much never gonna have the chance to do that, so you should go for the gold releases on the spikes. Then pick up that item and then stinger one of these gluttonies down. And here I get hit by a bird, unfortunately. There's pretty much no way to avoid that if you want to go fast. Then just ride him like 2 or 3 times here and then run away. Now go to the left, and then here from this view go left, then right, and then straight. And this is easy to remember. Then pick up this item, then stinger back. You can also do a stinger slide on any of those entrances, but I think going back just like that is faster. Stinger here, and then just activate this, spam cancel to get the dialogue through faster. Come here, stinger, and then stinger to finish. The most important thing to remember is to pick up that hidden orb cache.
Saved less than a second.
Mission 7 is the longest. There's a lot of movement and combat, and from this point on you're gonna be jump cancelling. So the first thing you wanna do is swap Cerberus into Agni Rudra. Then stinger to this door, and then stinger slide and Helmbreaker down. Stinger here, stinger again, then jump on top of this bookshelf, stinger right about like this, then pick up this item and do not attack any of the pawns, because otherwise you will initiate a fight, and even though you can escape, you will automatically try to lock on to the enemies when stingering, so don't do that. Then on the super jump platforms, jump right twice, left twice, right once, pick up the holy water, and stinger across to the other super jump platform, and then jump across the gap right here. Also make sure you pick up those orbs. Then stinger here, back here. Then just stinger once and then just run through this area, because otherwise it's very likely that you will target them when stingering. You can do a reverse stinger there. Then here you want to pick up this hidden orb cache and then stinger to the altar. Then you're gonna have to fight first 2 greeds and then 2 more will spawn. And if the greeds get to wave their coffin around so that the spirits come out and hit the ground, they will spawn prides, and you really don't want that. So you just want to make sure that you go behind them to their back so you can jump cancel them, because you cannot jump cancel their coffin. And also be careful of getting too close to those poles, because that will trigger your pole dance, and it basically does no damage and just wastes time that you could be using to jump cancel. I prefer to attack the rightmost one here and then the leftmost. It kind of depends like what they do, because the left one can oftentimes go next to the altar. It becomes very difficult to jump cancel him, but it can also go next to the pillar. These two are a bit easier, and you can like push them a bit if you want. You can parry their coffin attack. I'm unfortunately quite bad at that still. And you can release through it as well. But the main thing is to do not let them spawn any prides. So stinger twice here, and then press R3 to reset the camera, jump and shotgun, so you get on top of this post. Then just start jump cancelling. So you can either just jump, attack very slowly, or you can do a piano roll where you just like roll your thumb on the jump and attack, or you can be like me and just basically mash both jump and attack at the same time. It's not reliable, but it's I would say that it's the fastest, or at least it's about as fast as the piano thing. I just have not learned how to do that, and I recommend trying to get parries here, especially if you're failing the jump cancels, because just switch canceling these guys is kind of slow. Pick up that item, go through this door, stinger on the stairs, and then wall jump here. But don't stinger on this thing because you're gonna be stuck here. Then jump over that balcony and then stinger to the elevator. Now the important thing to note is that because you can do cutscene movement here, do not do it when you're going up, because you will soft lock the game if you get off the elevator and the elevator goes up but Dante stays down. Anyway, here, just stinger up here and talk to the fire. You can try to do a stinger here and then go here 1, 2, 3 this wall, stinger twice and then switch cancel this. And now here you always have Rebellion equipped, but just for in case I will swap the weapon and test to hear if I have Agni Durja equipped, so I can do the jet stream there, because stinger will move this ball and it's bad. When you stinger to the wheel, don't guard cancel this because you will talk to it. Just switch cancel like that, swap to Agni Rudra, jet stream, and then switch cancel on top of this ball, because it will negate the knockback that you would normally do if you just used one weapon. Then pick up the item and get ready for the next battle. Jump cancel this greed and then finish off the 2 lusts. This fight can be quite random. You might not even always be able to tell where the lusts are. They can attack you or they can just sidestep however they like. Next, jump cancel this greed, and then after that jump cancel the other greed. If you get hit here a lot, then make sure that you just don't die, because obviously that's bad. You can also shotgun cancel these against the walls. I'm not sure exactly which is faster, but anyway.
Yes, do 1 minute.
At the end of this corridor there's a gold orb. It's the only free one, and I suggest you pick it up when you're first starting out, because you're gonna need it. Next, jump on top of this rail, stinger slide, and hopefully roll right there. It's kind of iffy. Anyway, get into the elevator, and next up you're gonna do some cutscene movement. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Then stinger twice to the door.
I'm not gonna grind 5-minute.
Once going in, just hold forward and lock on stinger, then just jump cancel. And on the left there's another greed, just jump cancel him. After that there will be a Hell Vanguard, the first of, what was it, 3 non-boss vanguards. Run behind him first so that he doesn't attack you, and just jump cancel him, because if you jump cancel him from the front he will block, and if you just get enough jump cancels in, you can just 3-cycle him like that. In that coffin on the right there's a green orb, so if you're lacking health, pick it up. Then on the right there is a vital star, and then just enter this. Do not get this orb or yet, you're gonna get it in mission 17 when you have Beowulf, so you get more damage and thus more orbs. While stingering up to the Peak of Darkness, where you will fight Vergil for the first time, try to avoid hitting the walls here. Anyway, Vergil has his Yamato combo 1, which is 2 quick scabbard hits followed by a sword hit, then 2 quick scabbard hits and 2 upper slashes. He can also do a rapid slash, and he usually does that when you're within quite the distance away from him. He can also do a judgment cut, but he doesn't do them until he's at like 50% health, but you shouldn't be seeing those anyway. The main strategy is to just stick close to him, parry his hits, then cancel with a shotgun, then do a set amount of hits with the Rebellion. You can also switch cancel him, but that will cause a lot of knockback. Using Rebellion is better and easier. So first, stinger to him, run up a little and try to parry his hits. After that you want to do 13 hits, then being 1, 2, over and over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, as in combo 1. Spam the shotgun, stay close to him, parry. I suggest just roll guarding everything he does. There's a slight chance that you'll completely make them whiff because of the roll, but I think it's better than just taking a hit, especially if he does a rapid slash or upper slash. And obviously it's better if you get the second combo with the upper slashes because it has more hits for you to parry, but can't really help that. Just stick close to him, and you can go for gold releases if you want. Try doing them after the first attack, that way it's easier to time them. Also, don't go away from him or he'll teleport or do a rapid slash, and if his back is put against the wall, it's possible that he'll teleport out, after which he'll do a backstep and then do a judgment cut, and that will basically hit you if you try to instantly stinger. So you gotta run a bit and then stinger, then the first judgment cut will whiff and then he will get hit. The reason why you shotgun cancel after you have comboed him is because he breaks out of the combo, and then after that he will always auto parry you if you attack, and that will most likely result in you getting hit. Also, attacking him from the sides or back can also result in the same thing. And the same thing is if you stinger to him from far away, he can auto parry. You really want to do these same 13 hits repeatedly, because if you do other stuff, you're gonna be wondering when is he gonna get knocked away from the combo, because if you just keep mashing, you're gonna get auto parried. Also, getting a real gold release here will do a lot more damage than just a silver release, so practice that, and you could just use it as a raw if you're uncertain, and you can actually gold release through that judgment cut if you're good. Onwards to mission 8. This is where you finally get Devil Trigger, and the first thing you do is buy 5 purple orbs. Or am I just bad at timing it? Skip the cutscene, Helmbreaker down, shotgun this tusk, then Stinger Slide, Helmbreaker down, switch to Ebony and Ivory, target this one, then jump, shoot, jump here, then go about where this shadow ends and shoot that one, hit this one, and then jump, shoot, jump, 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 shoot, jump, and then shotgun the last one. So here you just gotta find the right alignment, and this one is quite tough. Sometimes you can just hit an invisible wall even though it supposedly you should hit it, but you just have to figure out the way to do it. Right here there's a couple of different spots, but I used that one right at the end of that shadow. If you're not hitting those tusks, it means that they're basically, your bullets are going through it or under it. After breaking the last one, go to this orb ore and charge up your Devil Trigger explosion a bit, then switch cancel the ore until it's dry. And the reason why you get this instead of some other is because you have Agni and Rudra to switch cancel with, meaning more damage, as well as Devil Trigger, which also adds more damage to it. Then just exit and go to this room and just stinger and try to avoid the walls, because it's very easy to just bump into the walls and make your stingers not worth anything. Go through this room, and this is the first Gigapede runaway room. Just stinger twice, activate Devil Trigger and run away. Technically you could use stinger, but it's very hard to control it, and you have to do reverse stingers to avoid targeting the Gigapede. You're here, you just stinger, and that you get to ride this enemy, because normally you cannot knock down enemies no matter what, so you have to do it pretty much as soon as you enter the room. Ride him 3 times, taunt, get into the Retina Chamber. Here, stinger, taunt, and parry this guy, then start charging up Devil Trigger. And I suggest using 2 or 3 stocks, because this room is very random, it seems to me. Like, I have still not figured out the fastest way to do this, but what I do is I use 2 or 3 stocks. I think using 1-3 and 1-2 stock explosion, killing all 5 in both waves is the fastest, but even then it just might not work as it's intended. Make sure you get the full guard right there, and then just stinger here, stinger slide here. There's another stinger slide to the right of here, but it's usually not happening. Technically it doesn't even cost you time to do it, but anyway. Another Gigapede room, Devil Trigger run, and you want to equip the shotgun already in case you forget it. And now you can see I have full level 2 Royal Guard. And Stinger right here, this one is also tricky. The game really just wants you to target an enemy that's underneath you inside the cavern, and that just leads nowhere. Just try to do a reverse Stinger there. And as you get to the divinity statue, buy the 6th purple orb. That fills up your purple orbs. And now for Leviathan. Activate the fight, Stinger to the right lung, because it will try to sap your devil trigger. The left one will simply try to steal your orbs. Shotgun cancel it, move to the middle, and preferably use lock on here on the middle part. And then try to do a reverse release once an enemy tries to attack you. Granted, it's a bit difficult if there's 2 or even 3 of them trying to attack you simultaneously. And after that, just DT and switch cancel it until it closes its hatch. Then you can get a taunt in. Then move close to the middle so you can parry the laser. And it shoots 2 lasers, which will go horizontally across the room twice. And try to roll guard that. You can guard them individually as well, but it's very risky. So what I recommend doing is try to roll guard so that you will parry them at the same time instead of having to do 2 parries. And then you have to do a gold release on the laser, and this is by far the hardest phase skip of all the bosses. The way I do it, or try to do it, is after I parry, I run a bit forward, then I jump and release. And also, if you have Devil Trigger, you should use that. But if that doesn't happen, then just go to the right lung again, shotgun cancel, and then jump cancel when the enemies come close enough. Then to the core, release with your Devil Trigger and the Royal Guard, and it should die. For the one cycle to even be possible in the first place, you need to do at least half of the core's health with the release and DT. And here you can see me do the release, and then right after the DT. It could have been like at the same time, but looking at it frame by frame, the release comes before the explosion. There's the parry, run up, jump, release. From this point onwards, the proper usage of Devil Trigger is a major factor in going fast. You shouldn't waste it, but you also shouldn't hoard it. Mission 9 consists of 2 fights, 1 puzzle and a boss. So first just Stinger to the first room where you'll face the spiders for the first time. Spiders, as you can see, are very mobile. They can just sidestep, jump to the walls and jump back down from there. They can shoot web either on the ground or on the wall, which will lock you into place. You can escape it by using Devil Trigger or by mashing face buttons and waggling the left stick or something like that, but you should always have Devil Trigger to escape them. The optimal way to fight this is basically to jump cancel them and use Devil Trigger explosion and maybe a gold release, but I almost never use jump canceling because they just do not stay still. The way to make them just get knocked down is to first switch cancel a bit, and when they start staggering, that's when you do a Stinger, and then they just fly down on the ground. Then you can jump cancel or keep switch canceling or releasing or whatever. And the idea is to have 2 of them close by so that you can use the Devil Trigger explosion on both of them instead of just 1. They have a rush attack on the ground. It's very fast and it has a very big hitbox. Another one is a still attack on the ground, and if they get on the walls, you can just use aerial cross to attack them and use Devil Trigger so that the web doesn't get you. Once you kill the first 2, taunt and go to the door to parry the hand. And when you kill a spider, it releases small spiders which try to stick to you and explode after a while, and it'll just stun you for a moment. You can get them off with Devil Trigger or just jumping around and swinging, but they shouldn't be too much of a problem because most of the time you're just gonna be attacking the other spiders away from the smaller ones. After you're done with the fight, then taunt and try to get close to the door to parry it one more time. for Devil Trigger and Guard, which we will need for the next fight. In the next room, do a stinger slide, then stinger twice, jump on top of this tablet, jump again to get a hidden orb cache, stinger slide, and then break these two spikes. Be careful not to stinger here, because you will most likely attack other spikes and mess it up. Then just exit into the subground water vein, and here there is a zip glitch which you can do on these stairs here, but in my run I didn't do it because it saves about 14 seconds if you get it like first try, meaning as soon as you get there the enigma shoots an arrow that hits you and you get it. And frankly, if you don't get it like first or second try, then it's pretty much not worth it. You're just gonna be wasting a lot of time trying to get it. Secondly, I don't think there is a consistent way to get in time to release on the first wave of arrows, meaning the enigma usually shoots like a few arrows and then waits a moment, shoots a few arrows more. After that it will take quite a long time, at least like 5 seconds, before it starts shooting the next set of arrows. Anyway, to get it, I suggest you either run with Devil Trigger, or if you're confident you can reverse stinger here, because normally you target the enigmas on the right side there. Then you jump on these stairs and you have to align yourself like this. First, make sure that when you aim your guns, they are below that dark line in the background. Then look where your leg is. It should be on the third stair. Well, you could think about it as the second if you don't count the first broken one. Then you have to time the gold release on the arrow that hits you, and it can be very difficult to tell if the arrow is actually going to hit you or if it's just gonna go past you. I'm also convinced that you need the gold release and not silver or anything else. And even if you get the release, you might end up at the very beginning of the room or at the bottom of the stairs where you just did the release, so it's very complicated. Next, parry these blades twice. You can parry 2 times in one jump, but you have to hit the top part of the spinning blade and you have to obviously parry twice. Then do a reverse stinger to the door. Then just align yourself like this and stinger to the next door. Stinger twice here and then start running with Devil Trigger. Or you can also parry the blades here if you want. Then stinger to this enigma, then stinger to this and kill it. Taunt, and then parry this blade once or twice. Here you can stinger a bit after the blade, the midpoint of the blade, without locking on to the enigma. Then get to the next spider room, pick up the ambrosia. Then here you want to release only if the spider isn't blocking, and sometimes it will stop blocking like immediately, and your release will just go in vain if you do it, so make sure it's not blocking. So that was a quick fight. Next up, go to the door and then start parrying the door using DT when the spiders get close to you, release if you want, jump cancel if you want, and switch cancel is the preferred method obviously. There's a death abuse here, which I don't think is faster than just killing everything as fast as possible and not taking extra damage. It's because the time you spend taking damage from the enemies or the doors could be used to parry the doors for guard and Devil Trigger, so you can do more damage quicker to the spiders with DT and release. So I think the time saved by the death abuse is negated by the fact that you take damage instead of doing damage. But here you can see me do it on purpose, taking hits from the spiders and the door. But even then, since they do so little damage on normal, it takes quite a while to chip down on even at base health. Like you can see here, I got 3 stocks. Then I go into the next room, stinger to this blade. And if you jump for the last hit, your death will be quicker because the aerial death animation is a bit quicker than the grounded one. But here you can see you end up at the start of that room. You also lower the amount of orbs you get from the mission, so you can't get an S rank. So normally I just stinger back here, parry the blaze a bit, and with this Devil Trigger I run next to the door and stinger to it. And next you just stinger to the boss. If you climb up these ruins you can get the spiral, which is very useful for some things like Soul Eaters and Gideon, but you don't need it. Anyway, here just Devil Trigger run to this upright shotgun, ebony and ivory him down.
Oh, you
Optimally you ride him to the midway here,
Fucking corner.
then
So triggered.
ebony and ivory him down again, jump again on him, and then ride him to the door. Now we get to Nevan. For good measure, this is how you do the ride properly. And if you shotgun him twice, you're going to kill him, so you have to avoid that. At the beginning, Nevan will always teleport to the stage unless you do something like Stinger at the very beginning, in which case she'll teleport to the entrance. The first attack she'll do is the spinning attack, which hits 4 times. It will hit more times the less health she has. The aim of this fight is to break her shield and then knock her down, which is very important because you will get more time to hit her when she's down on the ground instead of if she's just standing there. She has this move where she shoots bats out, another move where the entire floor basically becomes a hitbox, and then this lightning that comes directly from below you. You can simply run away from that. The electrical floor is very weird because you can basically avoid it by staying on the stairs, at least some of the time. Then she has this electrical barrier and this like shark that comes from the ground, which is one of the hardest moves in the game to parry in my opinion. That's why I never go for it. She can also just laugh in place, which does nothing except give you free time to hit her. The electrical floor can be avoided by just jumping, but you should always parry it. The parry is much later than you'd think though. You can also wall jump in this room to avoid stuff, and the electrical barrier is very annoying because it's hard to tell your distance to it if you want to parry it. For example, if you mess up the initial parries and the spins, you want to parry those instead. And as you can tell, jump cancelling her is very difficult, and in the end it's much better to just DT and switch cancel. The kiss is her most damaging move, and it will pretty much kill you unless you have Devil Trigger to escape it. Otherwise you have to wiggle the stick and spam the buttons, just like with the spiders, but I think it's a lot more you have to do. You can also get the kiss by wall jumping or staying far enough away from her and perhaps using taunt for some reason. When she's at around 20% health, she'll pretty much continuously go for the kiss, especially if you're far away from her. She will literally suck the health out of you. Anyway, here's the optimal way to do this. First you taunt, and you stay still so that you make her go to this stage. Then you just stinger to her, hit her shield once with aerial cross, and then parry her spin attack 4 times. Then do aerial crosses a minimum of 1 time more, but it could take anywhere from like 2 to 5 hits in total. So taunt, go to her, and then do an aerial cross as she lowers her hands, because that's the earliest point you can hit the shield. Then roll guard to the right and parry 4 times. And you should roll when she says get ready and on the D. Then do enough aerial crosses to break her shield, and then 1 more time to knock her down to the ground, because this will give you more time to hit her. Do not whiff it, because you basically won't get a second chance. There's a very small time frame when you can knock her down. After that, DT and start switch cancelling, and before you run out of DT, you release. And then right at the end, as she's about to teleport, you can parry that, just like that. Then go to the middle of the arena and taunt. She'll teleport to the entrance, back to the stage, and then she'll do the first electrical floor. Try to parry that, because you optimally need to parry it to get a quick 2 cycle. Then she'll teleport back to the entrance and do another electrical floor. Then she'll do the electrical barriers, and you can parry those if you didn't get the earlier parries, and you need that to do the 2 cycle. Then you can shotgun her down instead of using aerial cross. It's a much safer option, and you will still get the 2 cycle. And then just repeat what you did the first knockdown. Here's a cleaner 2 cycle. It's possible to get an even faster 2 cycle if she only teleports twice and then only does 1 electrical offense instead of 2. And then after that she would do the spinning on the stage, and that way you would get the royal guard and the DT to finish her off. Then you just have to break her guard and knock her down again. You can also get a 2-cycle if you just use shotgun both times to knock her down, but I believe you need more DT for the explosion if you want to do that, otherwise you're gonna be just slightly short for the 2-cycle.
Yes!
On the stage's stairs you can do a stinger slide if you have Devil Trigger, but I've only gotten it like 2 or 3 times, so it's no biggie if you don't get it. And just stinger to the end.
Still saying 13%.
Mission 10 is very easy, and because of its simplicity, you are almost always bound to lose time on it.
Perfect without, getting a zip. I would say.
Activate Devil Trigger and run to get the Stone Mask, then run into Nevan's area and stinger once, then realign yourself and then stinger twice so you can exit the door. And then here you can either stinger or shotgun this Gluttony and then ride him about optimally 3 times. It's a bit difficult because of the camera angles and the movement here. Just like here you can exit with this ride, but if you don't then just hop off. Then stinger, run a bit and stinger again. You may get a stinger slide on that small slope. And here, just stinger to this statue to use the item. You can use Devil Trigger here to run if you want, but optimally don't use all of it because you're gonna need it. Pick up the Neo Generator and stinger slide off this edge right here. And stinger about 3 times, turn a bit to the down like this, and then stinger through this door. Stinger twice and equip Agnya Durra. Then run up behind the Dulhans and do 2 aerial crosses. Don't jump in front of them because they will anti-air you. Then taunt, then parry the blades like twice. Exit and then run a bit up slope, then stinger, otherwise you will target the other enemies on the other side. Then run with Devil Trigger up to these stairs, deactivate it and then activate it again here, and then do a stinger slide right here on the left side from where you first come. Then just stinger and 1, 2, 3 this Enigma and taunt. Activate Devil Trigger to get a stinger slide here, deactivate and then stinger again because there's a glitch that prevents you from using a door after something like that. I don't know why. In this room you're gonna have to fight 2 waves of spiders. The first one has a regular Arachne and a queen Arachne, and the second one has a queen and then 1 regular, but he doesn't spawn with the first 2. And here you just want to use DT and release and switch cancelling to kill them. And in the next wave you want to damage the big spider with the DTE. Here I use 2 stocks and like 3 hits to kill it. Also at the very beginning of this fight, parry the door. And here you just want to make sure you don't get hit because you don't want to waste time, because this fight is a bit iffy with the timing. Also taunt, and so when you do a bit damage to the big spider, then the last one should spawn not long after, and then use the first holy water that you have, because the big Arachne will not die from a single holy water. Now taunt, get some of those orbs, parry this door if you want, then just stinger with Devil Trigger to the end. And here you want to make sure how many orbs you have. If you have 30k, that's fine, but if you have 27, you have to get 3000 orbs from this mission to be able to afford the last purple orb at the start of the next mission. You may get 2k orbs, and then you obviously need 28k orbs.